I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Welcome back to the Sweet Pea Diaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea, and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all. Who we got in the building? We got, hey, welcome, Velma C. Welcome to the Sweet Pea Gang. We got Carlandra Denson. We got Dover Girl 843. Cheyenne Lattimore. We got Venetia Hope. We got Garrison. Hey, I'm not trying to be fashionably late. I was trying to get my clips together. And we got Life with the Leonard Family, Monica Reyna, my moderator. We got Marie Handy. It's Nikki, not Nikki, my moderator. Coach LP. We got Cocoa Butter Barbie, my moderator. Hey, everybody. Let me know if you can hear. Oh, my God, I had some. Just pray for me and my family. We got some bad news tonight. Hey, CC Miller, and I'm behind the avatar tonight because I had to go babysit and do a little watching a family member. So I am actually somewhere else doing my video. So I had to go behind the avatar. I'm here babysitting. I ain't got nothing else to do. So I said, let me put together some stuff and put some content out since I can't do Will Smith and everything right now. Because I had to, so just keep us in prayer. We going to be all right. We band together as a family and everything. We got Evan. I got Evan with me. He came with me. So yeah, I had to take a little trip and just keep us in prayer. But we going to be all right. Now, Rita Hopkins. Hey. All right. So, yeah, looks like now you guys know that we keep up with what is going on with Cardi B and Tasha K's lawsuit. With this trial, we keep up what's going on. So I got some updates, and before we get into that, we are going to issue our disclaimer. We are not legal professionals. We're not paralegals. We are not lawyers, attorneys, none of that. We just know how to break down court documents. Hashtag we can read in the comments. We can read in the chat. We can read. All right, so it looks like this appeal, it may be rendered the decision whether or not. Now, let's just get you caught up. Let's just get you up to date, get you up to speed. So Tasha K, she was found liable in her lawsuit, defamation lawsuit against Cardi B. Cardi B filed against her. So she was found liable to the tune of $4 million. Just round it up. It was 3.8. We're just going to round it up to $4 million. We're going to round it up to $4 million. So the court basically, Tasha K and her attorneys, and I'm going to show you actually what they did wrong. They really didn't even file a notice of appeal. There are ways you got to go about this stuff in court. And you know, even the court, the appeals court, they're not even really taking them serious because to be honest with you, her attorneys never even filed a notice, like an intent to file an appeal. Like they just went straight for the gusto. They just started sending notice of appearances. This is going to be who their attorneys is being, you know, going to be representing Tasha with this appeal. There has never been an official notice to appeal entered in. All right. So they just basically went and sent this paperwork stating that they filing an appeal. There is really not an appeal. I don't see a brief. I don't see anything like that. All I see is, like a attorney of record or whatever. Now there was Olga's reasoning for why she wanted to file her appeal. We're going to go over these things. And the court came back and they basically stated that we may not have jurisdiction over this appeal because we need you guys to prove citizenship of the owners of Kibi Studios, right? So there's several reasons why this happened. First of all, when you are an LLC versus a corporation, there are different rules that apply as it pertains to citizenship, jurisdiction, all of that. So that's a factor because they're not a corporation, they are an LLC. And with an LLC, you have to prove citizenship. It is not automatically defaulted as it is with a corporation. So we're going to go into that. Like, you know what? Let's just pull up the freaking paperwork. Okay, let's just dive in. But almost forgot. Before we do that, we got to hear a word from our sponsor, the person, the company that is sponsoring tonight's video. We heavily promote these wines. They are delicious. I drink them myself. They deliver them once a month. I get a box of 4. And they are delicious. So Bright Cellars Wines, let's hear a word from them, and then we're going to get into it, y'all. Bright Cellars is the monthly wine club that matches you with wine that you'll love. Get started by taking the Taste Palette quiz to see your personalized matches. Now, Bright Cellars matches you with wines from all over the world, curated to your taste buds. They are focused on finding unique hidden gems from small vineyards all over the world. And with hundreds of private label wines, you'll be able to try a new wine you've never tasted before. All you need to do is take their 7-question quiz so they can gather your taste preferences and deliver wines you're guaranteed to love. Each box is completely unique to your taste palette, meaning no box is ever the same. Each box comes with wine education cards for each bottle that outline the tasting notes, suggested pairings, best serving temperatures, and its origins. Wine Wisdom cards help show you how to store and open your wine, keeping it tasting fresh for longer. Now, all Sweet Pea Diaries viewers will get 60% off your first purchase by clicking on the link in the description box below. Thanks again to Bright Cellars Wines for sponsoring this video. Okay, and you go on ahead and click the link in the description box below and enjoy 60% off. All right, so I'm getting ready to pull up. Let me take one look. I'm just gonna throw this up really quickly. Give me 1 second. I want to take a look at this docket and want to see if I can pull. I'm trying to get this receipt. Give me 1 second. You guys talk amongst yourselves in the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm here, you guys, but I am looking for this receipt. Give me one moment. You guys go ahead and chop it up in the chat. Just give me one brief moment. I'm just looking for this receipt because um, I thought at one point Olga and them had their actual they had their appeal and what the reasoning for was for this appeal, their reasons. Um, and I think that's in the brief area of this docket. And I think they probably have moved it um, and what their reasons were. Because they were saying that the court did not allow them to use a certain paperwork that they wanted to use for the jury verdict form, a special jury verdict form. That's what it was. It was a special jury verdict form. Olga wanted them to be able to use that when filling out what what the jury had come, the judgment that they had come to in the decisions. And the court did not use the special jury verdict form. That was one of the errors that she was trying to say. There was just a couple things that she was trying to say were errors, and that paperwork is lost in this docket. So I was trying to find that receipt, but it doesn't matter because even still, when the court got this stuff and they looked over it, they said, hey, we don't even think that we have jurisdiction over this because, for one thing, the citizenship has not been validated for Kibi Studios. Now, what this means, when you are an LLC, okay, there is a difference between how they treat you versus a corporation. When you are a corporation, citizens of the jurisdictions where they incorporated, like, okay, so where the citizens, where their principal place of business is, that's what the jurisdiction is, what the citizens, what the citizenship will be. That's what, like, say if your business is in Georgia, right? If it's incorporated under Georgia, automatically the citizens are Georgia. A limited liability company, the company is deemed to be citizens of every state in which the members are citizens. So it doesn't automatically default to, okay, so it says, unlike corporations, which are citizens of the jurisdictions where they are incorporated and they have their principal place of business, limited liability companies are deemed to be citizens of every state of which its members are citizens. So if you incorporated your business in one state, that's where the principal place of business is, and that's what the citizenship is going to be. Whether or not you live there or not, it doesn't matter. If that's not your citizenship, that's the business's citizenship. If you are an LLC, on the other hand, you are going to have citizenship of where the members are residents or whatever country or whatever they are citizens of. So that's what the situation is going on here. Okay. Now, although this is a potentially difficult task for limited liabilities companies with multiple members, a defendant is presumed to know their own citizenship. You must know that. And to sufficiently establish citizenship for diversity jurisdiction, the district court notes that the defendants have to have 3 levels that they have to meet requirements of. So Cardi B and her team, when we look at their paperwork, they are not disputing the actual citizenship of Georgia. They believe, like, yeah, they live in Georgia, they reside, but where it's getting complicated is if a person has multiple, citizenships in different countries, states, then that's where the problem would come in at, because the court would not be able to have jurisdiction over Africa or, another state or country that your company would be found to be a citizen of, because its members are citizens of these countries. And we know that Sheck is a citizen of Africa. He's going to always be a citizen. That's his place of birth, right? What is that called? Dual citizenship. When you have a citizenship in United States and your homeland, your home country, is that called dual citizenship? So the court is basically saying what they asked for was, we need proof, okay, that your members, we need to see the proof of the citizenship of where they belong. And to date, that has not been entered because Olga asked for permission to leave to go amend and answer this question. Now, even though she came back with a semi-response, it wasn't really a response to show citizenship. Her response to the question that the court stated, she never really gave a response. They really just said that they wanted a leave to go be able to answer it. So they come here and this is what they say. The parties have reached an agreement that the relevant pleadings did not sufficiently allege the citizenship of Kiwi Studios, LLC, and that appealee, pursuant to whatever rule, will be requesting leave to amend the pleadings with consent of the appellants. So they need to be able to go away and, try to figure this out. Okay. Now, Cardi and her team is saying, wait a minute, none of this really matters to us. Because, first of all, this case wasn't even closed when you filed your appeal, notice to appeal, whatever it is that you sent to the court. The case wasn't even closed because we had not issued the actual injunction that we agreed on until April the 1st. So even though we got a judgment in the amount of $4 million from the jury and all of that good stuff, we still had not had an actual agreement and permanent injunction issued, and the court did not actually see it until the 4th. So the appeal that Tasha and her team sent in, they are saying is null and void because the case was not closed. It says oral argument on the injunction issue was scheduled for April 1st. On the eve of the hearing, the parties were able to reach an agreement on the form of a stipulated permanent injunction, which was submitted by the parties and entered by the district court on April 4th. The court's jurisdiction is limited to final decisions. A final decision is an order that ends the litigation on the merits and leaves nothing for the court to do but execute its judgment. All right. So on February 17th, the order could not be a final decision within the meaning of this because when it was entered, the district court still had to determine whether an injunction was appropriate. And if so, the terms of that injunction. So what Cardi B's team is saying, that in order for an appeal to start its process, there has to be a final decision for your court case. This court case, once it was over on February 17th and the jury reached a verdict, there still was not a final decision because the court had not decided whether they were going to have the injunction or not, because that was not going to be done until April the 1st, right? So the appeal that Tasha K sent, the notice of appeal that was sent on March 17th, Cardi's team is saying is null and void because we still did not have a final answer to this injunction, a final decision, until April the 4th, because we didn't hear anything until the 1st from Tasha K. She did not, we were planning to go to court, but then they reneged at the last minute and they decided that they were going to do this behind the scenes, and they agreed that she was going to take the videos down. She was going to stop, stop the narratives and all of this. And they didn't do that until April 1st. So they're saying this legally is not right because you can't issue an appeal. So it says she says that, let me back up some. So the final decision because it was entered. The court still had to determine whether an injunction was appropriate, and if so, the terms of that injunction, right? So Rule 3 of the Federal Rules of Appellate Procedure provides that an appeal may be taken only by filing a notice of appeal with the district court within the time allowed, which is 30 days. The 30-day window for filing a timely notice of appeal is triggered by the entry of a final decision. In this case, the April 4th order that disposed of the only remaining issue to be decided. The March 17th notice of appeal was therefore premature, and the appellants failed to remedy their mistake by filing another notice of appeal within the 30 days of the final decision, i.e. the April 4th order, leaving the premature notice of appeal as the only possible source for this court's jurisdiction, okay? So they're saying, hey, your March 17th appeal, that was premature because we didn't have a decision on whether or not we were going to have an injunction until April 1st. Then once we did April 1st, we turned it in by April 4th. The court got it. So you should have filed an appeal on April 4th or on or after April 4th. And that never was done because they thought that the one they filed on March 17th was sufficient. Again, Tasha K telling everybody that she filed an appeal, going on all these interviews. It's with the pellicle. It's with the pellicle. We got paperwork for that. We got saying all these things, again, living in a fantasy world because that's not how law works. That's not how the order of things work. There is a process and everything is to be done neat and in order. This is not YouTube. So they were premature. Then once they realized the error of their ways, they probably never realized it. They're saying, well, then you should have then sent the proper appeal for April 4th, which never has been done. To date, never has been done. So they're saying the first one is premature and the second one, it's never been. So this should just be dismissed just for those reasons. Okay. And then they are also attesting that the citizenship, that is not valid either for those reasons, that you don't have jurisdictions just for that reason. They're saying that, hey, we can go ahead, even right here, they're kind of going to give them, accordingly, there is no dispute that there exists a complete diversity of citizenship between the parties. No question. So the diversity of citizenship, that means when you have a federal case, right, you have to, in order to meet the standards for diversity of citizenship, it has to be $75,000 or more, the case. And both parties have to be citizens of different states. Cardi B is a citizen of, I believe, New York or whatever, even though she resides in, they could say she resides in Georgia. And Tasha K is a citizen of Georgia. They can say that, right? So they met those standards. They're saying we met those standards, but that's not why we're saying that y'all don't have jurisdiction. We're saying it because this appeal is not timely filed because she sent it prematurely. And then once they realized that it was a mistake, they still didn't. So they really don't believe that the citizenship is all that important. They know that they can probably win on that alone, but where Cardi B's team is at with this is that the appeal wasn't filed properly. So that's what they're banking on, and that's what their paperwork is more geared to, saying that this just wasn't done properly. Okay. So, of course, Tasha K's team, they have struggled. They have not come back with a proper response. They asked for leave to be able to get their paperwork in order to come back with a response. Now, usually it's going to be about 30 days because this is not the actual appeal or the briefs or anything like that. This is not the stage where, Tasha K put her appeal brief in and Cardi B put her appeal brief in. This is actually just the preliminary gearing up to see if they're going to grant the appeal. All right. So we still are waiting for them to get to that process. But the court said, hold up. We may not even have jurisdiction over this anyway. So we're not even going to go that far. So we're still trying to get past that. We still waiting to go, Judge, I was just motherfucking playing. I said she might have herpes B. I said she might be cold sore B. I was just motherfucking playing. I was just playing. I got this motherfucking ogre. She don't know nothing. This bitch don't know nothing about motherfucking law. She know criminal law. She don't know nothing about defamation. Judge, give me a break, Judge. I was just motherfucking playing. I got this motherfucking Sadir. He don't show up. I got this motherfucking Shaq. He's talking about we ain't paid taxes. Give me a break. I mean, her shit just fell apart. And honey, this is all in fun. We joke and we tease and everything. We all go through things. I'm not perfect. We all go through stuff. But my whole thing is, the errors that these attorneys make on Tasha K's team, it is just so embarrassing. Like the paperwork's not even in order. You look at their appeal response, it doesn't even have a cover page. It's just some shit that they just, look at it. Okay? Let's look at this. Just look at it. I mean, look, this is Tasha K's team, right? Appellant's response to jurisdictional question. I don't even know who wrote this. If I'm the court, I have no idea. If I'm the court, the clerk, the judge, I don't know who has submitted this. This does not have a cover sheet. It doesn't tell me who this is. It says Almazar versus Kibi up at the top and gives the case number. It just says appellant's response to jurisdictional question. We know who the appellant is, because we know appellant is Tasha K. We know. But my whole thing is, where is the etiquette? Where's the professionalism? When we look at Cardi B's team, we know exactly who we're dealing with. Look at this. Look at the difference. This is Top Notch versus Flea Market versus $14.99 versus Craigslist versus Yellow Pages versus, Google search. I don't know. But then when you look at Cardi B's, look at this. We know it's who it is, the appellee versus the appellants, what court it's being sent to, who the attorneys are. It's so organized and neat, and they're referring to cases. They have their paragraphs, bullet points, all of it. It's a legal brief. Look at it. It's just perfect. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's 15 pages long. You look at these, just turn the shit in, Olga. God damn it, stop asking me. I don't motherfucking know. Tasha, we've got to go over this. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, how do you, what, Olga, I motherfucking paid you. I don't know, God damn it, just turn something in. We got to get it in. We got to get it in 10 days. We got 10 motherfucking days. I done told everybody on YouTube that I done filed appeal with the appellate court. Now I need you to file an appeal with the appellate court. Now turn something the fuck in. Okay, Tasha, goddamn. She just turns something. She just turn it in, upload it, bing. And there you have it. I mean, no type of. I'm telling you, when I looked at it, I was like, whose is this? Oh, I have to read through it to figure out. Even though I know it says appellant, so we just know, okay, this one is Tasha's. But still, it's just the etiquette. It's just the etiquette. So that's really where we are. This can be any day now. I feel like this is going to be happening within the first week of June. Between the first and second week of June, I feel like we're going to hear something from the courts. This is going to be soon because it will be 30 days by June 10th. Okay. If we take it from May 5th and we go 30 days out, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we got about, let me see. Yeah, we got about June 16th, say 1, because I'm not going to count the, well, actually, I am going to count the weekends because I've seen the paperwork be submitted on the weekend. So we're just going to do days in general. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. Yeah, so we're gonna take that out to June 6th. I'm gonna say by June 6th, that's my prediction that we should know something as to what the court has decided. So what we will be waiting on for the court to decide is whether or not they are going to allow this appeal to be heard, whether they have jurisdiction over it, and whether Kibi Studios has established its citizenship. Okay, because again, what we know is that a corporation versus an appeal states that if you are a corporation versus an LLC states that if you are an LLC, you are whatever your state is, whatever the owner citizenship is, that's the citizenship of the company. Okay? Limited liability companies are deemed to be citizens of every state of which its members are citizens. So if your member has multiple states, countries, whatever citizenship, then your company has citizenships in those states. If you are a corporation, corporations are citizens of the jurisdictions where they are incorporated and have their principal place of business. Okay, that's a total different ballgame. All right. So if you're a corporation, that'll make it a little easier because it's like, hey, all right, if my company is based in Georgia, where this court is jurisdiction, where they're at, then we got jurisdiction. But if you're an LLC, on the other hand, and you got people that are owners of this company and they got citizenships all over the place, then your business is citizenshiped all over the place. Okay? So my prediction with this, I really see this going. And what you guys have to understand, do your research and you will find that technically Cardi B is really being lenient with Tasha K. Because the real tea with this is that Cardi B, she could have already started collecting on this judgment. She does not have to wait until this appeal has been heard. She legally can be putting in for this judgment to start being paid out. Because what will happen is they will say that whatever happens with the appeal, whatever you've paid, we will give it back to you and everything will be reversed if the court decides to overturn this verdict. And if they decide to hear it and hear the appeal, and they still can have the judgment being paid out, even while the appeal is in process, because it's a civil case. It is not a criminal case or anything like that. It is civil. So because it's civil, Cardi could technically be getting her coins, but she's just, not pressed for the $4 million. So she's just, being like she is. She's giving, and I don't know why she give her grace like that, because I would have put the paperwork in, start paying me, I need my money. But she's giving her grace, even in this instance. Okay, and if you don't believe that, you can go and research that. I'm not going to pull up all the documentation, because you can go Google that and find that yourself. But in this research, I found that technically Cardi could be collecting on the judgment right now. And when they find out what the official verdict would be with the appeal, if it would be overturned and what have you, then she would pay Tasha K back whatever she gave her. And the videos could be put back up. Everything can go back to the way it was. But generally, federal courts do not overturn appeals on these type of, a special verdict form was not used, or it has to be major flaws and major errors within the case. Technically, if something was done on a technicality, something was wrong, and it was like technical in nature, they will just say that it was a mistake and you can just amend the paperwork as such. But they will not overturn an entire case based off of something simple and small. It has to be some type of major flaw with the court, with a law, or, something that wasn't followed majorly. That's why the judge was being sure to dot all his I's and cross all his T's. And he kept saying, they could use this on appeal, they can use that on appeal. Please go do your research and research that as well, because that is information that I gathered as well. That if it's something clerical or something like the special jury verdict form that Olga wanted them to use instead of the form that they used, that was one of her reasons for appeal. Okay. Then it was something, she wanted to introduce Cardi's character. That was the other thing. Cardi's character, and she wanted to show the gang fight or the alleged gang activity and the alleged fight with the Watley sisters. And she wanted to introduce evidence that had already been deemed as not admissible. She wanted to show that, and so she complained about that as for, reasons for an appeal. That would be new evidence. That would be new entries. And an appeal is not granted for new evidence. It has to be stuff that is already on, in the case. It has to be an error. It can't be new evidence that you're uncovering and you found and you want to enter. That is not a reason for an appeal. Those are not grounds for appeals. So again, appeals are really hard to get, things overturned. It's not, especially with a civil case like this, it's probably going to go to the point of she's got to pay Cardi B. I do not see the court overturning this case. They will not overturn it. That's going to be my prediction. I'm sticking to it. That's my gut. They will not overturn this case. It will be upheld, and it will be the same decision, and she will have to start paying Cardi B. Technically, like I said, she could be paying her now, but Cardi is showing grace. Cardi's always the bigger person and showing grace, even in this moment. You guys want to drag Cardi. Y'all always want to give her the business, but still at the end of the day, you have to give the lady her props. She still, even in the face of this bully, in the face of this tyrant, still is giving her grace, because she could be collecting on that money. All she's got to do is put out a garnishment request through the court to AdSense. YouTube, Google AdSense, and they would start garnishing her wages. All right. So no, she does not have to wait for the appeal to be final in order to get, the appeal decision, in order to get her money. She can technically get it now. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're at. I believe that we should be hearing something within the next few weeks. And then if we don't, the second course of action would be, we probably would hear something within the 3 to 4 month time. Now, they have usually with the appeals, it takes about 3 to 4 months for the court to go through everything, to go through the briefs of the appealee, the appellant. Sometimes they will call them in to hear oral, arguments, and they will present it in front of, the court, the appeal, the appeals court, and each side will verbally defend themselves. Now, because of COVID, it would probably be done via Zoom, and then the court would render its decision on whether or not they're going to hear this case. And, then it would be a whole new, it would be heard in front of them, and they would present, the information, and then they would overturn it or uphold it. Okay. But like I said, I don't believe that it's going to be overturned. I don't. I think that the decision of the jury, the judgment, everything, I believe that it was the right recourse and decision that they could have made. I mean, it seems outlandish and it seems excessive, but the whole situation is outlandish and excessive because all you had to do was take the videos down. I mean, this involved people being recorded on the phone and having conversations and, setting people up and, false narratives and, trying to really extort because like in the beginning, when the lawyers, and we went over that paperwork, when the lawyers reached out to Tasha K. I mean, it's kind of like an extortion, right? They reached out to Tasha K. and they told her to take the videos down. She thought that she was going to be able to get some type of settlement out of this. And she thought that there was going to be able to be some money involved. Like she had something over Cardi's head. Like she really thought that she had a countersuit, counterclaim, they're causing me stress and they're, assault and all this. And those lawyers weren't paying that shit any mind. They told you to take the videos down. She took them down for like a day or so. Then she put them back up when she realized that she wasn't going to be able to get anything out of this. She wasn't going to be able to get any money. She wasn't going to be able to extort anybody. So then she said, I'm going to go forward with this as far as I can. You don't want to come on my show and give me an interview and talk about this, where why would I want to come talk about shit that you done made up, narratives that you have, made to be a thing? Why would I want to come and dispel rumors that you have created and you have created? You know what I'm saying? Like it was just all a ploy to try to get Cardi B on her show. And I'm with Cardi. Why would I come and validate your lies? Why would I come give you any clout? No. And because she wouldn't do that, it just went. And now once you already in it, Tasha was already in it. She couldn't take it back. It was already there. She couldn't take it back. So that is my prediction. Because she went forward with this, all she had to do was take it down. This is not going to be overturned. She basically told the court, you're going to have to give me a gag order in order for me to stop talking about the woman, in order for me to stop slandering her, defaming her. You're going to have to issue a gag order. You're going to have to make me shut up. The court has asked her that. That's in the transcripts. She said it even on social media. She's shown it. So an injunction, even over top of a $3.8 million, $4 million judgment, an injunction on top of that judgment had to be issued because she would not stop. She kept those videos up to the very end, to the bitter end, when all she simply had to do was take them down in the first place, right? So I don't think that any court, anybody would have any leniency on you, would care to overturn anything for you when you look them basically in the face on that stand and told them, yes, sir. So you're basically saying that you're not going to stop? Yes, sir. So you're basically saying the court will have to make you stop? Yes, sir. You said this shit on the stand in front of the judge in the courthouse. So no one's going to entertain this appeal. This appeal is not going to be entertained. There's no laws that have been broken. There's nothing that has been missed. You can't enter in new evidence. A special jury verdict form at the end of the day is not an error in a case. That is just a form that they did not allow you to use. That is not basis for a damn appeal, for an entire case to be overturned because you didn't use a special jury verdict form. And a special jury verdict form at the end of the day, guys, that's not a brief motion, none of that. It was simply a form that she wanted them to use. Olga is saying she wanted them to use the jury to write down their verdict on that form. $1 million to pain and suffering. This to that to that. This, that to that. And the jury did do that. They did that on their forms that were provided to them by the court. But Olga says, no, we wanted you to use our forms, our special jury verdict forms. That's not a reason for an appeal. That's just a clerical thing, and at the end of the day, who's to say what forms? It's not a law that you have to use those forms. It's not required that the special jury verdict forms had to be used. The ones you typed up, Olga. So, wrong answer, throw that shit out. And then you wanted to enter in evidence that already was deemed non-admissible. That's new. That would be something new. That would be new evidence. And that's a no-no. That's not part of the process for an appeal. You can't enter in new evidence. So where's the grounds for the appeal, Olga and Sadir? Please, where's the basis for I could have tried this case. Tasha K would have been better off with me. I could have tried it. Of course, I wouldn't have, because I'm not going up against Cardi B and her peepas. But come on. Like, that has nothing to do with nothing. Nothing. All right. So that's my predictions, I really don't think that this is going to go anywhere. It's going to just stay where it is, and she's going to have to pay Cardi B, period. And if you are this conglomerate that you say you are, you making all this money, hey, divide it, hey, 50,000 divided by 8, however many times that's going to take to get you, or multiply 50,000 times 8 or whatever to get you to that million. Thank you, CC Miller, for the $10. We see you showing out. Thank you. Whatever it's going to take to get you to that 4 million. Hey, get your mathematics on. Figure it out. And just start paying it and get it over with, because you're going to have to pay sooner or later. Whether, like I said about that summary judgment, y'all remember, she got upset and said I was putting up fake documents. Cardi gave it to me, whatever the case was. I said, hey, if you don't show it now, if you don't tell the people now, you're going to eventually have to tell them. If the judge doesn't sign this paper now, he's eventually going to sign it in. What happened 30 days later? Honey, the paperwork was entered in as, she lost. And the judge signed it. And it was entered in on the docket, right? So, just because things don't happen when you think they should and when you want them to, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Just get it over with. Just tell the people the truth. Okay. So that's it, you guys. That's, okay. Cheyenne says, yeah, $200,000 a year. It will take her 20 years to get to 4 million. Hey, it is what it is. You got yourself into this. You're going to have to figure out a way to pay it. All right. I don't know what you're capable of and what your finances are, because I couldn't do it. Clearly, we're not the same, because we're not in that. I'm not talking about no millions of dollars. There's no way I could afford to pay anything like that. So I wouldn't even be in that conversation, because I'm not even getting myself involved in that. If somebody asks me to take something down, I'm just going to take it down. And that's just what we're going to do. And I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to stick this out to the bitter end. I think that Tasha did that because it was her pride. She didn't want to come across, as weak. She didn't want to come across as, Cardi B got the best of me. She did not want to look like that in front of her subscribers and her viewers. She wanted to look strong and put on this front that I'm a journalist, I'm a shock jock, and, I'm telling the truth. That's why they're on me like this. And if it wasn't true, then they wouldn't be doing that. If this information wasn't exposing who they are, then they wouldn't be so they want to attack me and take me to court because I'm exposing them. And it's like, no, girl, they want to take you to court because your ass is lying and you putting up defamation. You're just defaming people and slandering them for a story. You on Lipstick Alley looking up and getting content and posting it and passing it off as exclusives. Something that's starting off as rumors and little tea on these tea pages, and then you just add bits and stuff to it, and then now you got a story. Now you got an exclusive. So that's my prediction, you guys. I believe that the court, they are going to uphold this lawsuit. The $4 million judgment will start to be paid to Cardi B. The court will not overturn. They will uphold the decision. All right. And that is my prediction. I believe we're going to know something by the first or second week of June at the latest, maybe into the 13th, 15th. But I believe we should know something within the first or second week of June. Okay. So I will keep you guys posted. I got my eyes and ears to these courtroom streets, okay? To these court document streets. I got my ears, my eyes open, and I will keep you guys updated. Now, let me read some of these comments, and then we are going to get up out of here. Okay. Coach LP says she really could have avoided this by just taking the videos down. Okay. Venetia says, exactly, Coach LP. It appears the constant association with CB was the end goal, so she got it, right? Negative or positive, in her mind, she may feel it's still a win. Very warped way of thinking, and people do think like that. All press is good press. If people are talking about you, no matter how they talking about you, they're talking about you. Me, I don't believe that. I believe, you don't want that negative press. You don't never know who you might want to do business with. And now your brand is you're just limited to YouTube. You can't take this thing off of YouTube because networks and people that might want to do deals with you, they don't feel like they can trust you, right? So now you are only limited to YouTube, right? Kimmy says her fans support her madness, and she was still lying and deflecting to and from them. Bug News says Tasha K can afford $200K over 20 years. I think she probably could afford that. I don't think, she's not going to pay it all at one time. So it would be bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? It would be, a certain amount per month. And I think she might be able to swing that. But that's a long time. That's a long time to be paying somebody, right? Whether or not you can afford it or not, that's just money that can be going somewhere else. I feel like this isn't really a good cause for $4 million to be going out of your household because you wanted to do videos and you didn't want to take them down. Hey, CR. I think that it's just, too far. You went too far. You're taking all that money out of your household over YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense to you? A lot of you guys, I'm questioning, are we adults here? Yeah, blogging, YouTubing, whatever you want to call it, it is a business. That's people's jobs. That's what they sign up for. But some things are just not worth it. It's like, okay, can we have some value sometimes, please? Does it always have to be about the shock? Do we always have to try to go viral? Can't we just put up stories that we love, that we want to kiki? Like, yeah, we want to throw some shade. We got a little bit of tea. But if it's at the expense of hurting people and damaging one's character, is it really worth it at the end of the day? What are you really gaining out of that? So that's just my thought on this. We're going to get ready to get up on out of here. I just wanted to give you guys some quick commentary. A lot of people were asking me what was going on with this. I got a few DMs. I'm like, hey, we're getting to that point. I believe that the judge will be making his decision. The appeals court will be making their decision very soon. And it looks like to me that it will not be going in the favor in the direction that the winos would like it to go. Tasha K will not win this appeal request. They will be denying it, dismissing it for lack of jurisdiction. Okay? That is basically what's going to happen. So you heard it here first. I said it. Mark my words. It will happen. And if it doesn't, we'll come back up and say, child, she said she done slithered her way in through the appeals court. You know, all is fair in love and war. I'll come up here and admit it. Like, okay, she got through. But in my opinion, it's not going to happen. I don't see that happening. Okay? All right. So you guys have a good night. Thank you for watching. This has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. You guys be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Good night, guys.